Good evening. My name is Jacqueline Lopez, current Chair of the Planning Commission. I'm going to go ahead and call the Planning Commission to order for July 28, 2021. And at this time, if I can have the roll call, please.
Chairperson Jacqueline Lopez,
Present.
Vice Chairperson Nico Isiano,
Present.
Commissioner Christian Rodriguez Ceja is absent, Commissioner Gloria Franz,
Present.
Commissioner SB Valdez.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you. If we can please have the introduction of staff.
Sure. Good evening, Madam Chair, and members of the Planning Commission. Tonight we have Director Kevin Snyder, Nikki Gomez, Assistant Planner, Juan Raya, City Engineer, Evelyn Beltran, Secretary, and we have, I believe on the Zoom, we have Fire Marshal Rebecca Winscott and Jason Anderson, Code Enforcement Management. Also myself, Leila Nambar, Senior Planner, and Zach Hazelman, our Assistant City Attorney via Zoom. Thank you.
Thank you, Leila. And if we can go ahead and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If Chairwoman Valdez, if you can please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, Chair Valdez. I think that's your first one, given this is your first meeting in person. And if we can please get a statement from our Commission Secretary.
Certainly. The general rules of courtesy for virtual meetings are as follows. Please be mindful of background noise when joining the meeting virtually. Virtual meeting participants must mute all live streaming devices to avoid playback when speaking. Virtual meeting participants must mute the microphone to keep background noise to a minimum when they are not speaking. When your microphone is not muted, avoid activities that could create additional noise. Position your camera properly. If you choose to use a web camera, be sure it is in a stable position and focused at eye level if possible. If you'll be sharing content during the meeting, make sure you have the files and/or links ready to go before the meeting begins. Members from the public participating virtually wishing to provide oral testimony must follow the instructions on the agenda and/or online in order to provide public comment for agenda or non-agenda items. Members from the public participating virtually wishing to provide oral testimony have 3 minutes to provide oral testimony. Thank you.
Thank you, Evelyn. And if we can please get a statement from our City Attorney.
Thank you, Chair. There have been no directives issued temporarily halting local government processing of land use and development review applications and/or consideration of policy actions, including but not limited to general plan amendments, zoning code amendments, new or amended specific plans. Therefore, the City of Indio continues to accept and process applications in accordance with state and local requirements. City of Indio is following Governor Newsom's Executive Orders N-25-20 and N-29-20 pertaining to the Brown Act. These executive orders allow governmental entities to conduct meetings by electronic means and for members of the public to observe the meeting electronically, as well as provide public comment or public testimony telephonically or otherwise electronically. Accordingly, the City Council and Planning Commission are currently conducting scheduled meetings in a hybrid in-person and virtual meeting format. The City of Indio has implemented technology solutions that allow members of the public to observe and offer public comment, as well as public testimony virtually during public hearings at scheduled Planning Commission meetings. The city is committed to providing public participation opportunities while also complying with requirements for the processing of land use and development review applications and/or consideration of policy actions.
Thank you. And on to item 6. Do we have any public comments that are not on the agenda?
We do not.
Okay. And to item number 7, the minutes for July 14, 2021. If you had a chance to review, and if I can receive a motion to approve.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes of July 14th, 2021.
Okay, Vice Chair Yuziano, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Chairperson Lopez,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Isiano,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Franz,
Yes.
and Commissioner Valdez.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Item number 8, public hearing items. 8.1, Music Festivals Plan Second Amendment to Development Agreement DA 12-8-28 and Zoning Text Amendment ZTA 21-07-77 and CEQA exemption Class 1 and Class 23. And Kevin, you're up.
Thank you. Good evening, members of the Planning Commission and members of the public. My name is Kevin Snyder. I'm the Director of Community Development for the City of Indio. And as the chair indicated, the item before you is a public hearing item. Waiting for a second here for the PowerPoint to load. So I'm tap dancing a little bit. There we go. All right. So, whoops. I think that's the applicant's presentation. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so again, this is a matter public hearing item involving an amendment to a development agreement, as well as a zoning text amendment. So just to review, it's a second amendment. This amendment would affect the development agreement entered into between the City of Indio and Golden Voice LLC and Coachella Music Festival LLC. That would extend the term of the development agreement until 2050, the end of 2050 or December 31st, 2050. And we'll get more to that in a moment. It would apply the Second Amendment to certain assessors' parcel numbers, and that would also amend certain sections of our zoning ordinance in support of this particular amendment to the development agreement. So the area of interest is the properties highlighted in green. This is where the development agreement applies and would continue to apply to properties that have been identified in this map. So as the commission is aware and the community is aware, the Coachella Music and Arts Festival and Stagecoach have been held in the southeast portion of our community, respectively, since 1999 and 2007. They've become major events in our city. They've contributed to our international reputation as arts and cultural venue, and they've provided indirect and direct economic benefits to the City of Indio and the Coachella Valley. There's been several prior city actions. I'm not, the list is in front of you in the PowerPoint. I'm not going to highlight all of them, but just to note that these actions have been taken ultimately by the City Council in recognition and support of the operation of the music festivals in the City of Indio, and they have included, these actions have included the origination of a development agreement between the city and Golden Voice and Coachella Music Festival, and then also an amendment to it, as well as several environmental analyses, both a very comprehensive final environmental impact report and then an addendum to it. And that addendum was done to recognize increases in, primarily increases in the attendance of the number of individuals who could attend the events. And that was done in 2016. So the point is that there's a well-established relationship between the city and Golden Voice LLC and Coachella Music Festival, and that the request before you this evening is in continuation of that relationship and that partnership model to support the continued operation of the events in the city. So key staff findings. So in your staff report, you will find a comprehensive analysis of compliance with certain elements of city rules and regulations. We start with the Indio General Plan, and as discussed in the staff report, there are various policies of the Indio General Plan 2040 that this proposal complies with. They include maintaining and enhancing the festival district. So as many of you may remember, that since you were involved in the adoption of the general plan, we've established a festival district land use designation. This covers the area where the festivals are held. And that's really a recognition in our general plan that this is a special area of our city that requires certain considerations, both at the policy level and the operational level. It also, it complies with the festival district strategy, which again is to support and enhance this area as an event space for music and arts and culture. It also supports our many economic development goals, supporting local music events, supporting cultural and arts events, and also supporting cultural tourism. So as I indicated earlier, the festivals have become an important part of our identity, both in terms of our regional, national, and international identity. So this is an opportunity, if the Planning Commission is to consider it, of continuing to support that identity. It complies with development agreement statutory requirements, and it makes, for lack of a better word, it complies with the requirements for consideration. Primarily, when you're considering a development agreement, it needs to be done in a public forum such as this. It needs to address compliance with the general plan, which we have analyzed, and then it also is a consideration ultimately of the city council. So your recommendation this evening will be picked up by the city council at a near-term city council meeting, and they will consider your recommendation on the development agreement modification, or excuse me, amendment, along with the other requests that are being asked for, primarily the zoning code text amendment. It also complies with the Indio Municipal Code in the context of, again, this is being done in a public forum. The requirements include a public hearing. They include an investigation and report. They also include action by this body, whatever that action ultimately ends up being, and then consideration by city council. The amendments to the zoning code are fairly minor, as described in the staff report. They are cleaning up a little bit of language references based on old general plan designations, and they're also highlighting the potential term extension for the major music festival permit, which is an action that the city council previously took. When the major music festival overlay was established, it established a maximum term for that permit for 20 years. The action that is requested of the Planning Commission initially and ultimately of City Council is to consider an extension of that to 2050, which, if you include the original 17 years for the initial development agreement plus the 20 years that's being asked for, it ultimately ends up to being 37 years. So in the proposed amendment to the zoning code, you'll see a reference to 37 years. That's what it is. It's from 2013 to 2050, incorporating the initial 17 years and adding an additional 20 years. So that's the basis for that 37 years. And then as we looked at this from a CEQA standpoint, this proposal really fell under two classes of exemptions, section 15301 and section 15323. Again, those are analyzed in the staff report, but in summary, basically, this is an operation of an existing facility. And so in that regard, what is being asked for, there is no substantive environmental impact. As a reminder, there was a comprehensive environmental impact report done in 2016 that, and in essence, those mitigations that were identified as part of that, the operational mitigations, still stand. The extension of the term of the development agreement and the proposed changes to the zoning code do not affect the mitigation requirements. So all the things that Golden Voice is required to do when we hold events, whether they range from traffic mitigation to security mitigation to other requirements, still stay in place. This does not change that. So because there is no substantive impact to the environmental condition, it was determined that there is no need for additional CEQA analysis. And so the staff recommendation is basically to adopt the two resolutions that you have contained in your staff report. Resolution number 2002, which pertains to extension of the term of the development agreement and also finding the project categorically exempt. And then resolution 2003, which pertains to the zoning code amendments and again, finding it categorically exempt. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. The representatives for Golden Voice are here this evening, and I know they have a presentation and are also happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Snyder. Any questions for staff or for Director Snyder?
So Kevin, just one question. I mean, there's a lot of parcel numbers here, right? And it's a huge area, which we all know it is. Are there any significant additions of parcels, or this is what it's always been, or was approved in 2016?
You're correct, Commissioner. It is parcels that were included in the original 2016, well, actually in the original development agreement. Then there were some modifications that looked at additional parcels as part of the final environmental impact report. So since 2016, to your point, those parcels have remained in effect and they would apply the same. There's no addition of parcels.
Perfect. That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure.
No, thank you. It's a great question.
Thank you. Any further questions? Okay. Go ahead and open up item 8.1 for public hearing. And if the applicant like to come up.
Okay. I guess I should tap dance as well. That was such a comprehensive presentation. I'm not sure I have that much to say, but I'm sure I'll find a way to fill the time. Okay, good evening, Chair Lopez, Commissioners. I'm David Goldberg of Armbruster Goldsmith and Delphac, and counsel to the applicants Golden Voice and Coachella Music Festival. I'm joined by Bill Fold of Golden Voice and online by Tony Lacacciato of Meridian Consultants, who prepared the CEQA documents for the project. And we certainly appreciate the opportunity to present this extension request for the music festivals. So we know none of you are strangers to the Coachella and Stagecoach music festivals, but we'll just spend a few minutes walking you through some background and explaining the term extension request. Golden Voice first put on Coachella Festival in Indio in 1999 and the first Stagecoach Festival in 2007. And as you know, the festivals are held at the Empire and El Dorado Polo Grounds and other neighboring properties within what is now called the Major Music Festival Zone inside the Indio Ranchos Polo Estates specific plan area. In 2013, we worked with the city on a comprehensive entitlement for the festivals, which included the certification of an EIR, as Kevin mentioned, and the establishment of this Major Music Festival Zone, along with the original 17-year permit and development agreement, all of which incorporated a very strict set of requirements and public benefits to the city, as well as long-term certainty for the festivals. In the years that followed, the festivals continued to grow in popularity. And as was mentioned in 2016, we came back and requested, and the city approved, an increase in the attendance from 99,000 to 125,000 for Coachella and from 75,000 to 85,000 for Stagecoach. Unfortunately, the festivals had to be suspended the last couple of years due to state and county public health orders. After several years of operating under these approvals and following 2 years of suspended festivals, we are now thrilled to be back requesting this extension of the development agreement and permit from 2030 to 2050. The extension will ensure the continuation of the long-term public benefits the festivals provide to the city and the greater Coachella Valley. The festivals will continue as they have been. There won't be any changes to the attendance cap, the number of festivals, events, or the festival site, and there are no operational changes being requested either. Kevin did a great job explaining the entitlement requests, so I don't think we need to really add anything to that other than to just reflect the fact that because of your updated general plan included a festival site sub area for this area, the zone text amendment includes language that now conforms to that. As the city of festivals, we know you're all familiar with the various cultural, reputational, and economic benefits the festivals provide the city and the entire Coachella Valley. These would continue and be extended to 2050 with the approval of the extension request, including the local jobs, local spending, and direct increases in city general fund revenue. In particular, the ticket fees that the city receives under the development agreement would continue with CPI adjustments for up to 20 additional years. The extension would also provide greater certainty over a longer period, facilitating the continued investment in the long-term success of the events and these numerous public benefits. Now, planning with the city for the festivals is a year-round effort. And after the hiatus of the last couple of years, we will be working again with the city on the various operational plans that help minimize impacts to our neighbors during the festivals. The plans also spell out a communication program with residents to provide information regarding the festivals, when they will be occurring, points of contact information, and alternative access routes during the festivals. And I also thought that it might be helpful, since it's been a couple years since we've held the festivals, just to summarize the outreach efforts that Golden Voice conducts with the city each year with its neighbors. So Golden Voice coordinates closely throughout the year with Community Service Manager Jim Curtis and a host of other folks within the city to conduct the outreach to these neighboring communities. And this starts in the fall, where they meet with each of the HOAs and residents groups, where Golden Voice either has standing agreements to supplement security, or where there have been issues or concerns in the past. And these are one-on-one meetings, and the cities of Coachella and La Quinta are often participating in these meetings as well. And they discuss any noise concerns, traffic issues, road closures, access concerns, as well as security and pedestrian routes to ensure that people don't cut through communities. And where necessary, there are then follow-up meetings to come back with responses to questions and to address any concerns. And then based on all of these meetings, Golden Voice and the HOAs reach an agreement on any modifications that are needed to their prior agreements for reimbursements for security. The city is also kept in the loop, and this is important because the existing festival permit has a condition, it's condition 22, that requires a neighborhood resident communication plan, as well as a private security plan. And Golden Voice submits this to the city, and the police department reviews and approves it prior to the commencement of the festivals. And among other things, it details the private security that Golden Voice works out with these communities and the reimbursement arrangements. And then prior to the events, tons of logistical information is provided, and you probably are very well familiar with that. The information is provided to the media, which then sends it out. There are direct emails to the HOAs, which now seems so antiquated. And so social media is also used as well. Hotline numbers are provided. And then a few weeks before the events, Golden Voice coordinates with the police department in sending out letters to the HOAs with information about residents' access and recommended routes. There are liaisons available 24/7 during the events to respond to any issues as they arise. And so Golden Voice has been at this for years. And while every year provides a new opportunity to learn and improve, they believe that this extensive pre-event outreach and the coordination with the HOAs, as well as the permit conditions, really help address all of these concerns. And so with that, we'll just close on CEQA. As was mentioned, the project qualifies for two separate exemptions under the California Environmental Quality Act. There's the Class 1 exemption for existing facilities where there's no expansion or intensification of the use, as well as this Class 23 exemption, which feels like it was tailor-made for these types of events, for normal operations of facilities, for public gatherings. And in addition, the events are also, this extension request is also covered by the underlying EIR. So with that, we'd like to thank you for your consideration of this request, and we're happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Quick question. Are there currently, we have 3 weekends of festivals in April. Are there any plans for November or October festivals as you've done in the past? Or is that allowed currently?
It is allowed. There are 2 fall festivals that are allowed under the permit. I think we're getting our sea legs again, coming back with the spring festivals, and we'll look forward to at some point getting into what may happen in the fall.
Thank you.
Commissioner Valdez, you have any question?
One quick question in regards to the ticket prices. I noticed that there was quite a bit of an increase on there. Is that something that you project on the prices increasing that much every year, or do you see them dropping a little after we get back into play?
You know, I'm not the ticket price guy.
Okay.
So I'm not really in a position to speak to that. Certainly, Bill, if you want to take that.
Please. Hello. It's not a, it's something that we.
Bill, I
take into-
apologize for interrupting. Could you just state your name real fast, just for the record?
Yeah, Bill Foltz.
Thank you.
With Golden Voice. Thank you. It's something that we take into consideration each and every year. And with the 2 years off and everything that's going on, that's why you might notice the usually that increase is so subtle. Each time that there's an advance sale, then there's the real on sale. But this time, since there's a couple of years that we didn't do, it looks a little more drastic. So there have been multiple times that we have not increased the ticket pricing, and we try to not increase it as much as possible, but economics. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bold. Okay. Do we have any other comments or questions? I'm sorry. No? Okay. Any public comments?
We did not receive any.
So we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. And any,
Chair, if I may, I believe that there were no, please correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Beltran, but no requests for oral public testimony, but all previously submitted public testimony was provided to the commission in advance.
That is correct. There was no request for oral testimony. However, there was one request or one public comment submitted prior to the meeting, and that was distributed to the Planning Commission, posted online, and made part of the record. Thank you.
thank you. Okay. Any, I already closed the public, so I have to re-close it again, or? Okay, so it's already closed. Commissioners. Go ahead, yeah.
Okay, I'll start since nobody wants to start. First of all, I grew up here. I'm literally a local girl, and I know the concerts bring so much to the entire Coachella Valley. And I think Golden Voice has done a great job being a good neighbor to the neighborhoods in the area. And I live not too far from there. So I see the impact, and I think it's very well managed. Other than, I just really want to encourage Golden Voice to continue with that type of relationship with the neighborhoods. It's very important. And I think most people are very supportive of the concerts, but it does impact everyone. And I know that you're aware of that. So I would just encourage you to continue to have that kind of a relationship and those conversations. But other than that, I think, the concerts are a great part of our community. And we thank you for having them here and for being such a good partner with not only the city of Indio, but the Coachella Valley. So I really don't have any questions. There's really no big changes from 2016, and just the extension. I don't see any concerns with that. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Franz. Commissioner Valdez, do you have any questions, any comments?
To piggyback off of Commissioner France, being a good neighbor, I think that you guys have done a great job throughout the years litigating like all the traffic. I've been a resident of the city of Indio for over 10 years, and I've seen the improvement, and I appreciate it because trying to get to an appointment during festival season can be a bit of a headache. So I have noticed that the traffic has gotten a lot better. And I know that they're being a good neighbor with the concern with the traffic and the relationship that you guys have with the HOA, just encouraging that relationship. People work really hard to purchase a home. It's a lifetime of savings and getting their credit together, and they finally realize the dream of being a homeowner. So, when there's little things that come up with issues on things that are going on in the community, just being mindful of that. And I think that you guys are doing a great job of doing that. And we don't want to discourage anyone from purchasing a home in the area. But I know that you guys take all of that into consideration. And I also want to thank you for hosting such a great event in our city. I'm very proud to be a resident in the city of Indio. When I'm out of town and people ask me where I live, I don't say I live in Palm Springs. I say I live in the city of Indio. And some of them know where Indio is. And for the people who don't know where Indio is, then I say, where Coachella, have you heard of Coachella Fest, or have you heard of Stagecoach? And they immediately know what I'm talking about. So it feels good to be a part of to live in the city where where we're recognized for something so amazing. So thank you for all your hard work and all your efforts.
Thank you, Commissioner Valdez. Vice Chair?
No, I appreciate Golden Voice for bringing these festivals to not only to our valley, but to our city of Indio. I was at the first one, and I've been to every one since. I've been involved in some sort of capacity. I'm really excited and eager to see it come back. I saw, it made me smile. I was watching a recent documentary on Woodstock 99, and they kind of gave the counterpoint of, and then there was Coachella a few months after that, and that showed you the way a festival should be done. And I was at the first one and it was outstanding. And every year something changes and something, you know, whether you're growing or changing, you know, the vibe of the festival. Every year traffic and the logistics seem to get better and better. I love seeing the shuttles incorporated from the tennis gardens. That seems to make it much easier to get in and out, especially, you know, at the end when everyone's trying to get home. Sometimes that's frustrating after a long day. So you guys have continued to make changes and adapt, and it's much appreciated. Excited to see it come back.
Thank you, Vice Chair. And I just like to echo again, being a lifelong resident of Indio and growing just a few blocks away from the festival, and actually kind of sneaking in and seeing the first one in 1999, but seeing it grow and grow. And again, I really appreciate the outreach you've done to the community out there, the folks that live around, and the traffic is getting better. And not only that, the business, it gives to some of our small business owners and how Indio has been able to thrive. So I just wanted to thank you, and really looking forward to this coming next year, right? Yeah, so April, yes. Yes, you may.
I forgot one thing. The amount of support that you as a group between Empire Polo and El Dorado and Golden Voice do for all of the nonprofits in the Coachella Valley are amazing. And I know that a lot of people don't know. So I wanted to bring that up and hope that you will continue to do that, because it does make a huge, huge impact in the community. So thank you for that.
So with that, if I can go ahead and see who wants to take a first crack at
I guess it's me. So I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 2002, attachment C, a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Indio, California, recommending approval to the City Council of the Second Amendment to the Development Agreement between the City of Indio and Golden Voice LLC and Coachella Music Festival LLC to extend the term of the agreement to 2050 and include and have covered by the provisions of the original development agreement certain properties as described in the Second Amendment, and finding the project is categorically exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act Class 1 and Class 23.
Separate?
Yeah.
I will second.
Okay.
Chairperson Lopez.
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Isiano.
Yes.
Commissioner Franz.
Yes.
Commissioner Valdez.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 2003, attachment D, a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Indio, California, recommending approval to the City Council of the zoning text amendment ZTA 21-07-77, amending subsection 159.463, subsection 159.466 of the major music festival permit requirement, and subsection 159.469 applicable to an area in the city generally located south of Avenue 49, west of Monroe Street, north of Avenue 42, and east of Madison Street, major music festival overlay zone, and finding the project is categorically exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, Class 1 and Class 23.
I'll go ahead and second the motion.
Chairperson Lopez.
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Isiano.
Yes.
Commissioner Franz.
Yes.
Commissioner Valdez.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Okay. Congratulations, Mr. Hagan, Mr. Fold, and please give Mr. Tolet my best. Thank you. Okay, next item, item 8.2, Vegas Vibe Casino School Rentals LLC conditional use permit 21-05-1067. And Ms. Gomez,
Yes, Madam Chair.
you're up.
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the Planning Commission. My name is Nikki Gomez, Assistant Planner. And before you tonight is the Vegas Vibe School Casino and Rentals Conditional Use Permit 20-05-1067. So this project or this use will be operating at the northeast corner of Golf Center Parkway and Avenue 44. This is going to be a suite within the Golf Center Square. Its zoning designation is neighborhood commercial, and the general plan designation is mixed use neighborhood. So the suite is approximately about 1,054 square feet. And the proposed use is going to be for a casino school, which will offer games dealer training that includes the popular games, the blackjack, roulette, craps, baccarat, and poker for casino tables and equipment. The suite is obviously currently vacant, and so they will occupy that. As for the floor plan here, so essentially it's one giant room or a classroom for students to come in their own pace. And so to go over the operation, so it will be from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Tuesday to Saturday. The students are or must be at least 21 years of age. Currently, there is 8 students that are interested in applying, and they will have a maximum student capacity of 20 students. The courses will be 4 courses, meaning the first course is the main dealing course, which is the most popular game cards. And then the other 3, the roulette, craps, and poker, will have its own designation, and that will be in addition to your main course that you will take after the fact, if you want to specialize on that. The students may attend at any time. It's going to be at their own pace. So essentially maybe just by appointment. So they are not really going to be in a series of classes within that 6 months. If they couldn't finish it within the 8 weeks, they could certainly extend, and the school will allow them to do that to comply with their schedules or whatnot. I also just would like the commission to be aware that as part of this business operation, there's going to be a rental portion that they will cater to, for example, parties and charities, but those rental equipment will be stored on a separate facility, but the operation will obviously be on this site. Also, the condition has been placed in this conditional use permit where the dealer school will be providing the instruction of car dealing and rental equipment, but no gambling or any other regulated use are permitted in this site. So that would be as part of the conditions. Other than that, the recommendation is to adopt resolution number 1998, a resolution of the Planning Commission, City of Indio, conditionally approving conditional use permit 2021-05-1067 to allow an instructional car dealing school with an auxiliary equipment rentals as an educational institution, Vegas Vibe Casino School and Rentals at 43990 Golf Center Parkway, Suite A3, within the Neighborhood Commercial Zone District, subject to the findings and conditions of approval therein, and determining that the project is exempt from California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to CEQA Guidelines Section 15301, existing facilities. Staff is here to answer any of your questions, and I believe the applicant is also with us through Zoom if you have questions for them as well.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. Any
Mhm.
questions for Ms. Gomez?
I just have one question.
Sure.
Do we have other casino schools in the Coachella Valley? I mean, considering how many casinos we have.
We actually don't. I think the nearest one I've searched is in Orange County and San Diego.
Okay, so this would definitely fill a need in our community
Correct.
for people to be able to get certified or trained to be dealers here in the local area.
That's correct.
Perfect. That's what I was curious about. Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open this public hearing, 8.2. If the applicant is on.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am. Hello, my name is Julius Caballo. I'm the COO of Vegas Vibe Casino School and Rentals.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any, do you have a presentation? Or are you,
No, ma'am, I did not prepare any presentation.
okay. Do we have any questions for Mr. Caballo?
I don't have any questions for the applicant.
Yeah,
Staff report was pretty thorough.
okay. Any questions? Okay, are there any public comments on this item?
We did not receive any requests for oral public comments tonight.
Okay.
Quick question, do you currently run any other, can you name any other schools that you've run, like well, obviously not in the area, but
Yes, I was the head trainer for Resorts World Casino back in Singapore, but that's outside of the United States, so it runs in my experience. However, this is the first training school that I have ever considered putting up in the United States. I recently moved to the United States, came here in 2012. I'm in the business for 27 years already and have handled being head trainer for a large casino in the past before.
okay. Thank you.
I just have one question. The schooling, are you going to be working directly with the other casinos once for like job placement, or how does that work once you complete it? Do they,
There is no job guarantee from the casinos. There are no tie-ups as of now. However, I currently work at Spotlight 29 Casino as the casino shift manager. And there have been talks with the previous general manager about utilizing the school to ensure that the supply of dealers and other staff is continuous. However, nothing formal was reached in that conversation. It is something that we are open to considering, and it would help us tremendously and the casinos if we could reach a tie-up agreement with them.
okay. Would that require you to go through the gaming commission or?
Yes, everything that has to do with the casino Indian tribe gaming will have to go through the gaming commission. However, the structure of most casinos is an independent unit from the casinos itself. Although we do help the applicants prepare them for the auditions that they're going to go through to join the casino.
Okay, yeah, that was my question, because I know that there's background searches and strict guidelines when you apply to a casino. Would that be like would you do like a pre-background on some of these students that will be applying to your school?
We will not be doing a preliminary background investigation because the casino school will not only cater to applicants for casino, tribal casinos, but it can also cater to other places like card rooms in Los Angeles or places in Vegas that do not require that stringent, that very strict background investigation as Indian tribal casinos.
Okay. No, I have no further questions. Any other questions? Okay. All right, since there are no questions, I'm going to go ahead and close this public hearing. And commissioners?
I think it's great. I'm assuming there's a need for this and they won't have to travel to San Diego or LA or somewhere else to get the training anymore. So I really wish them luck and hope that they can create relationships with the local casinos. So other than that, I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for Coachella Valley residents, and also this shopping center has been built out for several years and it's always had rather low vacancy, I believe. So I'd love to see that space get filled up.
I also think that it's a great addition to the city and to the community, and we wish you luck.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, if I can, if anyone would like to make a motion.
I'll make a motion that Planning Commission adopt resolution number 1998. Resolution of Planning Commission, City of Indio, conditionally approving CUP 21-05-1067 to allow an educational institution, a casino school called Vegas Vibe Casino School and Rentals LLC within the neighborhood commercial zone district, subject to the findings and conditions of approval therein, and determining that the project is exempt from CEQA.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Chairperson Lopez.
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Isiano.
Yes.
Commissioner Franz.
Yes.
Commissioner Valdez.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you, Mr. Galayo, and congratulations. Okay, next item is 8.3 Aurora Crossing Phase 2 Environmental Assessment 21-03-555 and Design Review 21-03-485. I will be recusing myself on this item, and good luck selling the chip, mister.
Okay, so this is for Arroyo Crossing Phase 2 Environmental Assessment and Design Review. Do we have a staff report, Leila?
Sure. Good evening, Mr. Vice Chairperson and members of the Planning Commission. I'm Leila Namvar, Senior Planner, and will present the project to you. As you said, this is Arroyo Crossings Phase 2. As you recall, around last year, the Commission had approved the triangle on the north, which is presented in red color. At that time, the Commission approved 184 residential units, which all of them were affordable. And they include 7 3-story buildings and a 2-story, 10,000 square feet commercial, basically located all the way on the north. And the project included amenities. The phase 2, which is dotted red, it is again affordable housing project consisting of 9 3-story buildings with a total of 216 residential units, a single-story apartment leasing and fitness building, a community pool, a tot lot, a dog park, and open space and recreational areas. To give you perspective, the applicant has basically provided us with this rendering. When you look at on the screen to the right, that is the 2-story building. And then it shows the apartments, and all the way to the middle, when you see that kind of drive aisle, that's the separation between phase 1 and 2. However, they're going to connect internally, and the main entrance is from the phase 1, which will be signalized. They will have a secondary exit to the south. This shows the overall, again, footprint of the buildings and also the landscape. It shows the top portion. They have a playground, pool, and also the south has playground and pool. Although they can share and use each of those recreational facilities, the residents will be encouraged to use their own recreational facilities. So this is the summary of the open space. As you see, they have about 80,000 square feet of open space, which includes the outdoor open space, dog park, tot lot, pool deck, and also fitness, and that club room that they're proposing. Also, they're giving us the unit basically mix, which is 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, and 3 bedroom. They're giving us the count on the parking, which they meet the parking ratio. They're also providing 54 bike parking for the project. This is the basically color palette and material for the buildings. They have grays, darker blue, beige, and also accent green, which will be used in some strategic areas. This shows a two palette, which I think they came with this two palette because last time there were some talks that which one should be, so and that's why they show two versions. So this again, other sides of the elevations, as you see, they have they're providing shading on most of the windows, and there's variation in the facade. The parapet walls are high, therefore the equipment won't be visible. We also added a condition to make sure that rooftop equipment are not visible. This is the fitness facility and clubhouse we were talking about. This shows also 3D rendering of the project. Again, carports and the drive aisles and the greens and landscape, and so, and also in the bottom right view, you can see basically the depth of the project. With that, the staff recommends to approve Resolution 1999, approving the environmental assessment, and Resolution 2000, approving the design review for Arroyo Ranch Phase 2. That concludes my staff report. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have, and the applicant team is also attending the meeting via Zoom. They can answer any questions you may have as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Leila, for your report. Does anyone have any questions for staff? Gloria?
I do. Hi, Leila.
Hi.
So on the parking, it showed carports, but it's hard to tell on the layout. Is only like the outer edges of the area have carports and the ones along the inside are not covered, or is like everything have covered parking?
May I get the presentation?
Yeah. Thank you.
Sorry, let me get the
That's okay.
presentation so I can. And by the way, this is Gus's project, so I'm just here to present. So I need to go back and forth. So
no problem. I saw the picture too, but I couldn't quite figure it out. So thought I'd ask.
I'm not moving. Huh? Oh, there we go. Thank you. So it looks like they have carports on the south, and I don't see any garages here, but I will defer that to the applicant so they can probably explain that. I can see the carports here around on the edges. Right. And there's no point. Yeah, around the edges, there are carports. I don't see any garages from this view, but I will defer that to the applicant. I apologize.
Okay, that was one. The other one is, I don't believe there's any solar on this project, but I wanted to ask to make sure that I didn't miss it.
They're not proposing any solar at this point,
Okay.
but all those carports has the capability to include solar.
Okay,
As you know, they're going for federal and state funding. So based on availability of fund, they can basically put solar on those carports.
so the carports, the way they're engineered, they can hold those solar panels if that becomes a possibility.
Correct.
Okay, great. Those were my two questions. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Valdez, do you have any questions?
I do. I have a couple of questions. The first one being, I noticed, as far as like the studio suites, the 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, what do you guys use to determine how many of each plan you guys are going to develop for housing? Like how, I noticed that there's more 1 bedrooms and 2 and 3 bedrooms. Like what do you guys use to configure that?
So we don't impose the floor plan types. It comes based on the market study from the applicant and also based on the availability of funding for affordable housing. Sometimes this mix also needs to be changed because the funding are more available for 2 or 3 bedrooms and they need to reduce the number of the studios. So that comes from them. Planning don't have any basically any guideline or rule to impose the floor plan, but
Okay.
that comes through them.
But they use like some kind of study to see if they are in need of more of a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom.
Yes, they use that, and especially this is because this is affordable housing. They also take a look at what is out there and what is used most of the time. So that's why they bring this mixed here. Also, as you know, there's another 184 units on the other side. So they're trying to mix and create a good combination so they can have funding and also they be able to lease easily. But again, I also asked the applicant to explain more into your question.
Okay. And then another one is to the parking. I noticed it said there was going to be 326 parking locations available. And then that's for both the 2 phases, or is that just for phase 2?
That's for phase 2, I believe. Yeah, that's for phase 2.
So the ratio for the parking for the residents is about like 2 cars per unit. Is that how they calculate that?
About that, it's not exactly 2, it's 1 point something because they're 260 and they give us 326.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically 1 point some per unit. And they have, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and 3 bedrooms. Usually your 1 bedroom requires less, 2 and 3 may require more.
Yeah, 2 or more. So the only thing I can think of is maybe an issue with not enough parking for the residents. Is there a plan for creating some additional parking if need be later on in the future?
So there are ways to do that. And again, the applicant can explain it too. There are some apartment complexes, they only have so many parkings available. So they lease to also people that they don't have cars, so they can use public transportation. There's also parking agreements probably between both of the phases, but that's 1 and some 1 point some, it's a normal for this type of projects, but I will ask the applicant to explain on that too.
Okay,
And Leila and the commissioners, if I may, I believe one thing that might be helpful for consideration and understanding
Concessions?
is I believe this project was presented under state density bonus law. And so density bonus law provides certain parking requirements. And if the application is consistent with the objective standards, the commission would be limited and the city would be limited in imposing parking restrictions beyond those state requirements. And my understanding from staff's analysis is that the project complies with those requirements as presented.
That's correct. They're also using concessions when they have, when a project is affordable, so they can use concessions on general development standards. One of them is parking.
Okay. Another question, I noticed that there is a community pool on the plan, and that community pool is for both of the, or is that one on the
No,
phase
there are
1?
2 pools, one for the phase 1 and one for the phase 2.
Okay,
As you see,
perfect.
they're 2 blued. So the one on the south
Okay.
is for the phase 2 and one on the north is for the phase 1. Both of them has similar amenities. So although they can use, from south, they can go to the north, but they'll be encouraged to use their own amenities.
Okay. Another question I had is whether or not they would have some type of security or a patrol, like just to in the complex, just for safety reasons. I just noticed in the past that there were some apartment projects that did have that, and that kind of helped keep things from being vandalized and
So
any crime activity happening.
Yeah, some part of the project is they are kind of, they have a perimeter fencing. It is see-through, but they have perimeter fencing. So that will be it. And also they have an office and a management on site. I'm not sure if we can impose the security measure there, but it is about, I don't know, 400 units. So I don't see any security issue per se, but again, we can ask the applicant to explain it. It's on the very busy major arterial. So, but that's something that we can ask the applicant.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Leila, for your report and answering our questions.
You're very welcome.
So now at this time, I'll open the public hearing. And let's have the applicant speak.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Darren Barbarian. I'm the business developer for Pacific West Communities. We're very excited today to present to you our Indio Phase 2 project, Arroyo Crossing. Leila did a fantastic job, presenting our project and the details, but you had a lot of questions. So I figured let's start with those. So the bedroom mix, that was a question that came up. And typically what that does is it's somewhat dictated by our financing. And our financing requires that we have 25% 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms. So that's why you see the mix that way. You see 1s, 2s, and 3s with 25% 2s and 3s. Now, also, Leila was correct. Market study also dictates the bedroom mix. And, given our experience in the area, there's over 120,000 people on the waiting list in Riverside County. So, these mix and rents are all substantiated by our market study that was created for this specific project. The other question was about parking and the covers. And I believe Alan, our architect from AO Architects, is on. I believe we have 50% coverage on the parking. Is that correct, Alan?
That is correct. We have 50% parking stalls, and Leila was correct. The carports are located on the outer perimeter of the site.
Fantastic. And the other question was solar. Actually, we are doing solar. We're doing solar on phase 1. We're doing some solar on phase 2. And Alan, again, that's common area solar currently, right? It's just for the common area that we're using.
That is correct. We are doing what is required currently by state law.
Correct. And so we also have the space, Leila is correct as well. So we'll have space on the carports to utilize that. And also if we are to potentially expand that. So, right now we're currently just going to be operating the open space with solar. The other question was about parking spaces. So the 326 spaces are actually just for phase 2. I don't know off the top of my head how many we have for phase 1, but 326 is just for phase 2. State density bonus law requires that we only have 1 space for 1 bedrooms and 1.5 spaces for 2 bedrooms. But we increased that, and we're going to continue to increase it actually. So we parked it at 1 space per 1 bedroom and 2 spaces for 2s and 3s. So we've parked over the state requirement. And what we'll do is, as we get into final production, we'll look to see if we can fit any more, and we're happy to increase that. We completely understand parking, but we do feel that we are very adequate as currently presented. The other question was the pools. Yes, we have 1 pool per community. So there's 1 for phase 1 and there's 1 for phase 2. And security wise, so we have 2 managers that are living on site in both projects. So we have a total of 4 between the 2. So between that, I mean, you have a manager, 2 managers on each site that will be living there 24 hours a day. So it'll be watched. We have a 0 tolerance policy. There are way too many people who want and need to live in these communities. We don't allow any type of issues to be present there. These residents go through a rigorous process to be accepted. They have background checks. They have to have jobs. There's landlord checks. There's income verifications. It's a very vigorous process, and a lot of people are on the waiting list for a very long time. So the pride of living there and the pride of living in this community is very strong. So we feel the security is with the managers that are there 24 hours a day. Con-Am Property Management will be the managers who are a fantastic firm and do manage a few other communities in the valley there currently. I think that was all the questions. I'm happy to answer any more, and Alan here is with me that can speak to any architecture questions, anything you may have.
Just one item, if I may. The phase 1 includes 297 parkings. So 200 and about 300 there and 300, so around 600 between two projects.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions or comments for applicant?
I do have a question. First of all, when you said 120,000 people are waiting, my next question is, what's your timeline to get these built and available?
Very good question. So the great news is phase 1 starts construction in October, and we're anticipating an 18-month build. The even more fantastic news is that phase 2 was submitted for financing and is up for recommendation on August 11th to receive its financing. And phase 2 will start 6 months later, roughly February of 2022. So it's very exciting news. They're both kind of happen back to back, which is kind of rare in the climate of financing and affordable housing these days. So they'll be happening very soon. You'll see shovels in the dirt in the next few months on phase 1.
That's phenomenal. How many of these types of projects have you done in the past?
So we have over 160 projects throughout California and actually the United States. Our firm, the Pacific Companies, have been in the top 10 developers in the nation for affordable housing. In 2018, we were deemed as the #1 affordable housing developer in the nation. So
Wonderful.
over about 15,000 units currently, and we have about another 5,000 units in production.
Thank you. This is very exciting and much needed in our community.
Thank you.
Commissioner Valdez, any questions? Any further? No? Thank you for taking time for our questions. I agree with Commissioner Franz. Very exciting to see something like this in our community. And I really appreciate the fact that you're offering some 3-bedroom apartments. I don't see a lot of that out in the Coachella Valley, and that could be especially useful for families that maybe can't afford to purchase a home or even rent a full home, because rent has increased tremendously out here on single family homes. So I'm looking forward to seeing this, and it's great to hear that
Chair,
phase 2 is right behind phase 1.
Chair, if I may, I believe we're still in the public hearing portion. So
Okay, thank you. I'll with that, then I'll just close the public hearing.
Oh, any comments?
sorry.
Any comments from?
There were no oral requests for comments tonight for this item.
Okay, I'll close the public hearing.
Just to repeat what we said, we're very grateful that this is going to be built here and in a timely manner. So thank you for that.
Thank you for answering our questions. And I agree. I'm really excited to see a housing project like this. We do need, we're in desperate need of housing. It'll be nice to offer something beautiful and good quality to the residents that are in need of housing like this. So we're excited to see it come to life. And thank you.
No other comments other than?
Okay. I'll go ahead and make a motion to adopt resolution number 1999, a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Indio, California, approving environmental assessment 21-03-555 for a mitigated negative declaration and mitigation monitoring and reporting program for the Arroyo Crossings Phase 2 project.
I'll second.
Vice Chairperson Isiano,
Yes.
Commissioner Franz,
Yes.
and Commissioner Valdez,
Yes.
and motion carries 3-0.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number 2000, a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Indio, California, approving design review 21-03-485 for the architecture, I'm tired now, site plan, parking, circulation, and landscaping for Arroyo Crossing Phase 2 project, an affordable housing project consisting of 9 three-story buildings with a total of 216 residential units, a single-story apartment leasing fitness building, a community pool, a tot lot, dog park, and open space recreational area, subject to the findings and conditions of the approval therein.
Second,
Vice Chairperson Luciano,
yes.
Commissioner Franz,
Yes.
Commissioner Valdez,
Yes.
motion carries 3-0.
Okay, are we inviting Chairperson Lopez back in?
Give her back her gavel.
So you have the no action items or no study session items. We're going to go ahead and go to staff items.
Thank you, Chair. Just one item to report from me. Today, there was a groundbreaking ceremony for the Fiesta Kia. So the project the Planning Commission considered, they are on their merry way, so to speak. So it'll be opening sometime in 2022. And so a very exciting opportunity for the city. And obviously the Planning Commission had a big role in that. So congratulations to the Planning Commission in helping the city's economic development. And that's it. And I don't know if Leila has anything she wants to report.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Thank you. How do we get invited to those next time? I really love to go to those groundbreakings. We have to.
I agree.
Huh? Yeah.
I will speak with the city manager's office about making sure that those invitations get extended to the commission. I was not able to make it myself, but we'll try to make sure that in the future that that is extended and for those that have time and flexibility in their schedule to attend. So I'll talk with them tomorrow.
Thank you. And that's a new one, right? Because you're part of that. So awesome. Any commissioner comments?
I'd just say that I'm really pleased with the last couple of Planning Commission meetings. Some great things have been brought in front of us, and I'm really happy to be able to recommend to City Council to extend that festival designation. And also I'm really excited still. I'm seeing people starting to talk on social media about the Indio Marketplace. So that means a lot to, I believe, all of us on the commission, pretty near and dear to us that grew up out here in Indio and would love to see something happen, as soon as possible.
And if I could just add about the marketplace, so we are meeting with them to discuss building plans to get through that process. As you heard, they have a very aggressive schedule. They want to start construction this fall, and then the team is working. I think the majority of the Planning Commission, except for Commissioner Valdez, did see the presentation in November of 2020 by the representatives for the Hagen Company, and their second phase of that project, they're working on a specific plan amendment. So that will be coming to the Planning Commission after they finalize their submittal. So that, as you may remember, involves multifamily housing, hotel, retail pads. So more to come on that, but definitely the first phase, you will probably see changes happening out there before you.
Okay. Can we definitely get invited to whatever day they start tearing the mall apart? Okay, I just want to take a picture and be there when that happens.
I will. I don't know what they're going to do, honestly, but if there is an event, I will make sure that you're on the list.
Yeah, we really just want to see it happen. Okay.
Any other questions?
No, I just want to say thank you to the staff. I know that, you're a little more short-staffed than normal, and the projects are just continuing to come in, which is great. And I just want to say thank you. I mean, you guys are really working hard, and I'm hoping we get more and more of these great projects that have been kind of floating around for a long time and they start to land. But thank you for that.
If I could, Commissioner, I just want to give credit where credit's due. A lot of the credit goes to Layla and Nikki, and Nikki's ride showed up, so we let her go. And also to Juan Rea and his team, and also the building staff led by building official Gil Estrada, and also Fire Marshal Winscott and her team. So it's really a team effort. Certainly a lot of that starts with planning, and I appreciate the acknowledgement. Layla and Nikki are doing incredible work right now. We are short staffed. We're working on to resolve that, and we'll do that as quickly as we can. But it definitely is a team effort, and we have a good team. So just wanted to expand the acknowledgement a little bit.
Yeah, I saw that there's some openings at City of Coachella and Desert Hot Springs. So hope. No, I hope we're very competitive when it comes to our packages. So no one leaves and we're able to pull in some folks off really good talent. Any comments?
I just want to thank everyone for all of your help with answering questions. And, I'm been on board for about 2 months, and everyone's been extremely gracious and helpful and, teaching me the ropes. And I appreciate that very much. So thank you. And thank you to Evelyn. She's been really nice in answering questions and getting me set up. So I appreciate everyone's efforts and everyone's time. So thank you.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to this Friday's. This time we're going to have the soft opening possibly for Dutch Brothers.
Are we sure?
Our apologies to the chair and Commissioner Franz. We didn't know they had scheduled a soft opening for the Dutch Brothers, but they had to modify it, and we unfortunately didn't know that, and so we were all a little bit in the dark. Layla may know more than anyone at this time, so I'll defer to her.
Actually, I'm gonna complain too. Staff who works on the project doesn't get booed. So yesterday I got Commissioner Lopez's text, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Let me find out. But I was told, which I was not able to confirm, that it was moved to Friday, the soft opening from 4 to 8, and the grand opening will be Monday. But I have not been able to confirm. So far, that's the question. But we don't get the invitation either. So, like Fiesta Kia, Nikki worked so hard, and she wasn't even new.
Yeah, and we will try to find out exactly from our friends at Dutch Brothers what they're planning, and then let the commission know. So at least if nothing else, you can get in probably the long line on Friday if that is when they do that, maybe over the weekend as well. And then we'll see what Monday holds for any official action.
I already left the chair there for me for Friday.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see that up. And again, I want to thank Evelyn and Layla and Kevin for letting me know. I was like, I'm only 10 minutes late. They're just end. But again, I just like to thank everybody and for all of your hard work, and really excited what we've been able to accomplish like this last 60 days. So yeah, so if there's any other further questions, I will go ahead and request to make a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, we have a second.
Second.
All right, roll call, please.
Chairperson Lopez,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Isiano,
Yes.
Commissioner Franz,
Yes.
Commissioner Valdez.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. We're adjourned at 7:18. Thank you.
Thank you.
I get nervous and I have a hard time getting out what I want to say because it sounds perfectly in